Welcome to this special episode where we'll take you through one of the most influential novels of the 20th century, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. This isn't a recitation of the book word for word. Instead, it's an extended, thoughtful retelling designed for an audiobook or podcast experience, crafted in modern, fluid language.
Exactly. Our goal is to capture the heart and soul of Harper Lee's timeless story, while presenting it in a way that feels engaging, reflective, and easy to follow. By the end, you'll not only know what happens in the book, but also why it continues to matter, decades after its publication.
The story is set in the small town of Macomb, Alabama, during the 1930s, deep in the era of the Great Depression. Life here is slow, the community is tight-knit, and old traditions shape how people live. But beneath that sleepy surface lies deep inequality, long-standing prejudice, and a rigid social order.
At the heart of the story is a young girl named Jean Louise Finch, better known as Scout. She's spirited, outspoken, and curious about the world around her. Alongside her older brother Jem and their summertime friend Dill, Scout experiences childhood adventures filled with imagination, play, and discovery.
Guiding them is their father, Atticus Finch. He's a lawyer, a man of integrity, and a single parent who raises his children with patience and wisdom. Atticus is widely respected in town, but his commitment to fairness will soon put him in the center of controversy.
And there's another figure who lingers in the children's imagination, Arthur Boo Radley. He's the mysterious neighbor who never leaves his house, surrounded by local myths and gossip. For Scout, Jem, and Dill, Boo is at once frightening and fascinating, a symbol of the unknown.
The early part of the book is steeped in childhood innocence. Scout and Jem play games in their yard, invent daring stories about Boo Radley, and roam the streets of Macomb. They see the world as a place of adventure, but also with the honesty only children can have.
Their summertime friend Dill brings an extra spark of imagination. He's from out of town, small in size but big in storytelling. Together, the trio tries to lure Boo Radley out of his house, leaving notes and sneaking near his porch, half scared, half thrilled.
But beneath their games, Harper Lee plants subtle hints of the larger issues surrounding Macomb. The town is segregated, social classes are rigid, and whispers of unfair treatment toward Black citizens drift into the background of daily life. The children don't fully understand it yet, but those realities will soon move from the edges of their world to the very center.
The trial begins. The turning point comes when Atticus is assigned to defend Tom Robinson, a Black man accused of raping a white woman, Mayeli Ewell. The Ewells are poor, uneducated, and widely disrespected. Yet the accusation immediately sets the town ablaze with tension.
For Atticus, the case isn't about winning popularity. It's about doing what is morally right. He knows defending Tom will bring judgment upon himself and his family, but he chooses to stand by the principle that justice must apply to everyone.
Scout and Jem find themselves caught in the middle. Children at school taunt them, neighbors whisper, even family members criticize Atticus for taking the case. Scout, quick to fight with her fists, struggles to understand why her father chooses calm dignity instead of lashing out.
Atticus uses these challenges as lessons. He explains to Scout that real courage isn't about fighting back with anger. It's about standing firm in what's right, even when you know the odds are against you.
When the trial begins, the courtroom becomes the stage for one of the most powerful moments in American literature. People from all over town flood the seats. White citizens fill the main floor, while the Black community is pushed to the balcony. Scout, Jem, and Dill secretly slip into that balcony, witnessing the trial from above.
Atticus carefully builds his defense. He reveals that Mayela's story doesn't hold up. Tom Robinson is physically incapable of committing the crime. His left arm is crippled from an accident. The evidence suggests that Mayela was actually seeking affection, and when her father, Bob Ewell, caught her, he forced her to accuse Tom to cover the family's shame.
Despite the clear lack of evidence, the jury delivers a guilty verdict. The children are stunned. Jem in particular feels the blow deeply. For him, the trial shatters his belief in fairness. Scout, younger and still processing, struggles to reconcile her father's courage with the ugliness of the outcome.
The trial reveals not just the prejudice of the time, but also the cost of integrity. Atticus knew the verdict was unlikely to be in Tom's favor, yet he gave everything to show the truth. It was his way of teaching his children that doing right is worth it, even when society refuses to change.
Tom Robinson tries to appeal the verdict, but in a tragic turn, he's killed while attempting to escape prison. The news devastates Atticus and leaves the community divided. For the Black community, Tom's death is another painful reminder of injustice. For Scout and Jem, it's another lesson in how unfair the world can be.
Meanwhile, Bob Ewell, humiliated by Atticus's exposure of his lies, seeks revenge. Though his accusation was upheld, he feels disrespected in front of the town. He spits insult at Atticus, threatens him, and even harasses Tom's widow. Atticus tries to brush it off, but the danger lingers.
The final climax arrives one dark night after a school Halloween pageant. Scout and Jem are walking home when they are attacked in the shadows. The children fight to escape, but their attacker, Bob Ewell, nearly succeeds in hurting them.
In a shocking twist, they are saved by none other than Boo Radley. The mysterious neighbor, long feared and misunderstood, steps out of the shadows to protect the children. In the struggle, Bob Ewell is killed.
For Scout, the moment is transformative. She finally meets Boo face to face. Instead of the monster from childhood stories, she discovers a gentle, quiet man who has been watching over them all along.
Sheriff Tate chooses to protect Boo's privacy by declaring Bob Ewell's death an accident. For Scout, this decision symbolizes the book's central metaphor. Harming innocent people, those who only bring goodness, is like killing a mockingbird. Boo, like Tom Robinson, represents that innocence.
To Kill a Mockingbird is not just a story about childhood or a trial. It's a meditation on morality, justice, and the loss of innocence. Through Scout's eyes, we see how prejudice poisons communities, how courage can exist quietly, and how true empathy means standing in someone else's shoes.
Atticus embodies the novel's moral compass. His lessons remind us that integrity often requires sacrifice. Scout, through her growth, shows us that understanding and compassion can break down the walls of fear and prejudice.
And Boo Radley's role reminds us that people we label as outsiders may be far more humane than the ones society elevates. Sometimes the quietest figures carry the deepest kindness.
As we close this retelling, it's worth remembering that Harper Lee's novel continues to resonate because it forces us to ask uncomfortable questions. How do we treat the vulnerable? What does real justice look like? And how do we protect innocence in a world that often seeks to destroy it?
To Kill a Mockingbird is more than a book. It's a call to self-reflection. Its message is timeless. Doing what is right may not always bring immediate change, but it shapes the character of those who dare to live with integrity.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of the most powerful works of literature. We hope this extensive narration has allowed you to understand the story and spirit of To Kill a Mockingbird.
Until next time, keep reading, keep questioning, and keep seeking understanding. If you'd like to listen to the author's original audiobook, as well as other audiobooks and podcasts, click the links in the description of this video, as well as in the first comment. Then subscribe to Audible to get 1 month free.